right, for today's workout, we're going to have 3 different movements, and we're going to go through those for 10 minutes. The first movement is a push-up. So there's a couple options here. We can do a kneeling push-up, which is going to be like this. Chest touches the ground, coming up to fully extended elbows. Now, if that's too challenging and you're unable to get your chest to the ground and return back up, then I want you to pick a depth that you can repeat for many reps. So think of something that you could do at least 10 of, and that could be with some breaks. But so, for example, if I can't go all the way down, or if I get stuck and I need some help kind of getting up like that, what I want you to do is come down maybe like a quarter depth that you can then keep your good positioning and shape, and then return back to that straight starting position each time, and maybe string together 2 or 3 repetitions. If that's a little too easy, you can come down half depth. You could do like a 3/4 depth, with the goal eventually of going full depth, chest touching the ground and returning. If those are too easy for you, then you can do full push-ups. So this is going to be on our toes, and then this is coming down, chest touching the ground and returning. This is kind of the classic push-up. Again, we can use that same scalability. If the chest to the ground kneeling is too easy, this version, but the full version is too hard, then you could do something in between. So maybe we go on our toes, and then we could do halfway down like that, or a quarter or 3/4, whatever. You can figure out a distance that works for you. You're going to be doing 5 repetitions per round, and the rounds are just going to continue around the clock. The next movement we have is a goblet squat. So this can be done with a kettlebell or a dumbbell. If you have a kettlebell, I would recommend that, since that's what we're going to be using for the third movement. But if you do not, a dumbbell works perfectly fine. So let me show you the different ways to do that. So with the kettlebell, I like to grab it with one hand. If it's heavy, I'll grab it with 2, and then we'll pop it up. If I grab it with one hand, I just go like this, kind of pop it up to my front rack position here. And then these are goblet squats, which means I'm going to hold this in this goblet position, upside down position. If that feels awkward for you, or you're nervous about getting up and down, you could also do it this way, and some people find that better. For me, this feels the most comfortable, so I'm going to stick with that. The goblet squat then is going to look like this. I'm going to have it in my goblet position. I'm squatting down, hips go below my knees apart, standing back up. You don't have to hang out in the bottom there. It's just going to look like this in real time, squatting down, standing up. I'll show you from the side. Just like that, squatting down, standing up. If you're not able to go full depth with your butt down below your knees, you can shorten that distance to what you can tolerate for right now. That is fine. Okay, the third and final movement. Oh, actually, before I do that, let me show you with the dumbbell. If you just have a dumbbell, then you're going to hold it like this, very similarly, and we're going to do the squats the same. Okay. Now, third and final movement is a kettlebell swing. Again, I'll show you a dumbbell variation if that's what you have. But first, I'll show you the kettlebell swings. So we're going to grab our kettlebell, both hands. We're going to pick that up. I'll show you from the front, and then I'll show you from the side. So I'm going to start with my feet about hip width apart, maybe just outside that. I'm going to have my elbows straight out in front of me. Nice, good grip on this kettlebell. I'm going to kind of almost toss the weight out a little bit, get some momentum on this. And then we're going to do a version that's called a Russian swing. So what you're doing with that is you're going to go about halfway up, have a little bend in your elbows. At the top, straight elbows at the bottom. Bend elbows, straight elbows, bend elbows, straight elbows. Okay, let me show you from the side. That might be a little easier to see what's going on here. So again, I toss it out in front a little bit. Bend my arms at the top, straight arms at the bottom. What I'm letting the weight choose my momentum here. So I have a very relaxed grip on the kettlebell, secure but relaxed, and I'm not, if I'm allowing the kettlebell to dictate the speed that I go down. So what I'm looking for is my arm to be in line with the handle of the kettlebell. if that starts to deviate, I can tell that my speed is off, whether I'm too fast or I'm too slow. So let me show you too fast, and you'll see what I'm saying. So if I start, see how that kind of loses the alignment away from the handle of my kettlebell relative to my arms, and then let me show you too slow. See how it kind of breaks that plane. So again, I just kind of find the rhythm where I squeeze my butt, snap my hips, bend my elbows a little bit at the top, straighten them at the bottom. Okay, you can set that down and relax for a second. Let me show you now the dumbbell version of the kettlebell swing. So I guess it would be a dumbbell swing. So we're going to take this. One of the most important pieces here is figuring out the proper way to secure it so you're not going to toss your kettlebell across the room. So what I like to do is create almost like a triangle with my hands like this, and I'm going to grab the kettlebell, the dumbbell, and then I'm going to put my other hand around it to almost like double lock it in there. So I'm going to grab one hand, grab the other hand. You can see it's locked in there, pretty good position. I'm going to set up the same way I started with the kettlebell, and I'm going to do my swings. The only difference is that instead of having a side-by-side grip, I'm in this kind of stacked grip. Okay, so if you find you want to switch which one's hands on top, which one's on bottom, every handful of reps or every other round, that's totally fine. I don't think you'll find too much of a difference left to right once you do a few of them. It feels pretty good. So let me show you from the side. Same idea. Letting that dumbbell now dictate my pacing on my up and down speed. Okay, so now for the format of the workout, we're doing, as I mentioned, the 5 push-ups, then 10 goblet squats, then 15 kettlebell swings. We're going to be doing this on a 10-minute running clock, and it's going to be a 10-minute AMRAP, as many reps as possible. So what that means is the clock goes for 10 minutes. We don't have any built-in breaks. You can certainly take breaks a little bit here and there if you need it, but the goal is to continue to move pretty much the whole time and to get as many rounds of that done as possible. So if you want to have something by you where you can mark off rounds, if you want to just keep track, I would recommend against just trying to keep track mentally. It becomes a lot of numbers to keep track of, and so having something next to you to write down is great. If you have a whiteboard, you can just draw one line and then swipe it as you go, so that's a really easy way to do it. Go ahead and do that now. I'm going to grab the timer. We're going to get set here for our 10 minutes, starting in 10 seconds. We're starting with the 5 push-ups. 3, 2, 1, go. After you do your 5 push-ups, that's right into 10 goblet squats. So again, we're popping that up 10 times. Find a comfortable pace. You don't have to go too speedy, but not too slow. Once you get your 10 of those done, you can go right into your 10 swings, or take a second, maybe take a breath, and then go ahead and begin those 15 kettlebell swings. Weight on your heels and chest up during those swings. After you're done with 15, that round is completed. Then we're back to push-ups. Make sure you take a few breaths. Five push-ups, then 10 goblet squats. Make sure you're breathing. Again, little breaks throughout I think is a really smart way to make sure you don't spend your energy too much in the beginning. You want to make sure we have enough for the entire workout. Kettlebell swings are next. And once you get to 15, set that down, round is completed, and then we're back to push-ups. You're welcome to float through different variations of push-ups. I started with kneeling, then I went to full push-ups. Now I'm going to do some kneeling again. And you can split those up. I just did 3. I'm going to take a second to rest. Then I'm going to do 2 more. You're welcome to do that throughout this workout. We just need to finish that chunk of reps before we move to the next movement. So now I got 10 goblet squats. And then once we get to 10, next we have kettlebell swings. Feel free to take a little break again if you need to. 15 kettlebell swings are next. And once you finish those 15, that round is completed. Very good. Back to our push-ups. Shoulders down and back on these push-ups. Just be purposeful with your form. Try not to rush through anything. Again, if you need to do a few and then rest, that's fine. Want to just keep chipping away at this workout, slowly working our way through it. Next, we have those 10 goblet squats. Ten of those, and we're on to the 15 swings. Don't be surprised if it gets a little sweaty. And then after those 15, round complete. Back to push-ups. Make sure you're breathing. If you start feeling like your breathing's getting away from you, think about taking big inhales, slow exhales. Always can take a little break here and there if you need to, no problems. Next we have 10 goblet squats. We have less than 3 minutes to go. And those, and our 15 kettlebell swings. After those 15, round is completed. We got less than 2 minutes. Back at those push-ups. Then our 10 goblet squats. Make sure you keep your good form. I know it's getting challenging. One minute left. Kettlebell swings. 30 seconds. Ten seconds. See if you can get a couple more push-ups in if you're on those. And time. Whew. Nicely done. Workout's over. Take a minute. Make sure you get some water. Take a few of those breaths. Big inhales, slow exhales. If you're sweaty, made a mess like me, clean up after yourself. And great job. See you next time.